let's move over to EA Play Live. We have a couple of games. They had 6 announcements. 3 of them were new game announcements technically. The other 3 were like updates. So for example, we had Apex Legends Emergence. That's an update coming August 3rd. Then they had Knockout City Season 2. That's July 27th. And then they had Battlefield Portal, which looks really cool. So Battlefield Portal is going to allow, I guess, the community and also people at DICE and all of this to create different variations of Battlefield matches using past Battlefield games, which does include Bad Company 2, Evan. Bad Company 2 is in there.
Does that include maps?
Because
that would be amazing.
Yes. They also have some remastered maps they'll be including. I think there's 1 or 2 Battlefield Bad Company 2 maps. But some of the things they showed were like taking players from Battlefield 2042 and matching them up against like a ton more players, like 30 players in Battlefield 1942, and the difference in technology would be kind of evening things out there, even though it's like 4 on 30. And it looks really cool. Like that is a very interesting concept.
It does look cool, but when in any multiplayer situation, I feel like that's just going to massively split the player base, because if not everyone wants to do that and they just want to play the normal game, who are you going to get together for that? But not only that, how cool would it be if everyone bought it and then only played the Bad Company 2 stuff and like nothing else? That would be the best.
Send the message. Yeah. And apparently your experience is going to just go across all modes and everything. That includes in that. So for your account and I guess your different operators if they go to that point. But Battlefield 2042 is looking great. So I'm on board with this game right away when they release it. So that's one of the reasons I'm not going to miss Call of Duty this year, because Battlefield is looking really good. So I like what they showed there. I'm picking it up as soon as it comes out. We did have Lost in Random. This was a new announcement. This is from the same developers that did Faye, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And this is coming out September 10th. Looks like a kind of a mashup between an action adventure RPG card game. I like the art style. It kind of looks like a little bit Tim Burton kind of art style thrown in there. And they were showing the gameplay, and I was trying to figure out exactly how it was working, but I think this is me a game I'm just going to have to play, because it looked like you're filling up meters, and then you're getting cards, and then you're also buying cards and upgrading them, and you have a dice that you're throwing. So I like the look of that one. It looked good. And then we had Dead Space. Okay. So there was some, actually, we also had Grid Legends. I'm sorry, that was at the top here. Grid Legends looks like a story mode based grid game, and they're going to have live action cutscenes, which is interesting, because what do we have that on? Need for Speed Underground 2?
What about what was Quantum? Was it Quantum Break that had that like a couple years ago? I
was thinking of like racing games though. Like I feel like Need for Speed Underground 2 is that the last time we had kind of that live action looking cutscene? Yeah. Am I thinking right? Yep. I feel like this looks like they're really going to lean into the idea of a story mode for a racing game like Grid. It's not coming out next year, but I'll check that out because I do enjoy the racing games like that. So looks kind of fun. But Dead Space, all right. Everyone's waiting for Dead Space. Dead Space, it's happening. It's a thing. It's been rumored for about a month now. They play what date? What they play?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Yes, there you go.
In a very ominous tone.
So they didn't show game. I guess this is in-engine. They didn't show gameplay or anything. But Dead Space is making a return. We don't know when. Next year if we're lucky. 2 years from now. EA Motive is going to do it. That'll be interesting on its own because they did Squadrons. So we'll see how that goes. And hey, you know what? I'm excited for it. It was actually the show was all right. It moved along quick enough. They only showed 6 things, like I said, but ending with Dead Space, it was a nice touch, even if it was kind of ruined already. But MVG had a different take on this. Let's hear it, MVG.
Well, I want to be, like, I'm excited about Dead Space. I love Dead Space, right? I guess, my only reservation about this is that Visceral had to die for this game to get announced. I feel for the Visceral team that was just, they ran that franchise into the ground. Only to bring it back. I'm glad it's back. I want to be clear, and I want to give Motive a chance. I think they'll do a good job. I think the game running on Frostbite is the right move. It's a next gen only title, which is cool, right? So they're putting
no Xbox One or PS4
no Xbox
version
One, no VCR, no PS4, which is awesome.
Put that thing away, Nate.
But yeah, it's just bittersweet for me that Visceral had to close down for this game to get announced again, and it hasn't really been that long. So, but I am excited about the game for sure.
Very much of that same mindset. I'm a huge Dead Space fan, and I even like 2 and 3 for what they did right in those games. Yeah. But I'm like of two minds. Like, I very much would have wanted to see where Visceral could have taken Dead Space next. I do think there was some good ideas left on the table, and an eventual Dead Space 4 or wherever they were going to take the series could have been great to see the continuation. And that being said, I'm also excited to see with modern day technology how great you can make a horror game now. Some of the newer Resident Evils being a good example of like how great they can look and how immersive you can be in them. A Dead Space like going back to the Ishimura and going through there, as Isaac. Just the atmosphere alone, I think, is going to be amped up, because the first Dead Space game is easily the scariest out of the 3. It starts leaning more towards the action as you get into 2 and 3, but the first game has an atmosphere that is uncomfortable, claustrophobic, and terrifying. And if they can capture that with probably some of the best looking visuals they could do, especially with the Frostbite engine, I think this remake could be fantastic. So I am looking forward to that. So I'm on both sides of that. That I feel the same as you, MVG.
Yep.
Okay. When do we think it's coming out?
22, 23. Between those 2 years.
I think maybe at the end of next year. Maybe.
Yeah, I could see that, given like they wanted to announce it now next year. If we have a traditional E3, you use that as that like big build up moment, the hype, you get the hands-on impressions, and you really hit that marketing cycle hard. But what's going to be interesting, and it's only if the project remains on the known release path, is this potentially could be going right up alongside Callisto Protocol.
Oh, that's a good point.
The original creator.
The original
of Dead Space.
Creators, yeah.
And they're taking concepts that they had for Dead Space 4 and implementing into that new project. So it's going to be really interesting if these games release, let's say, the same month, or even 1 month separated, because there's going to draw immediate comparisons to say which one did it better. And that could be a really interesting conversation when the time comes.
I think that's great, though.
Question:
the best of both worlds there.
Absolutely.
Where does that put not to change this up, where does that put Mass Effect 4?
Mass Effect's a while away.
Sorry, guys.
First, we have to get what's that other one? That other game BioWare does?
Dragon Age.
Yeah, Dragon Age.
Oh no! Where does that put Mass Effect 4?
We have no idea what BioWare's current lineup is, what they're doing first. All we know is we have, hey, here's a logo for each and a couple visuals. That's it. We have no idea how far in development. I know when they announced Mass Effect, it was very much like Mass Effect, we're gonna do something, not like, okay, we've already heavily been working on it.
You didn't analyze. If you analyze the initial trailer, you clearly see that Liara is still alive, and she finds the little.
Man, I'm still playing through the game. God dang it!
Stories live for a long time. Click. You know that they live for 1,000 years. They live for 1,000 years. That's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler.
Good job, OJ.
Spoilers.
I didn't do any. I didn't say. I spoiled nothing.
That's not a spoiler.
Come at me.
That's not a spoiler. Is that a spoiler?
Well, nothing has happened to Liara. Nothing has happened to Liara yet in my playthrough. What happens to Liara? Don't tell me. That was a rhetorical question.
Did, OJ.
That's not a spoiler.
Now the effect that the game's going to have on Click is going to be less than massive. Now it's just going to be.
That's not a spoiler.
Minimal
now it's
effect.
going to be effect.
That's not a spoiler.
Meh.
The Met trilogy, Met Effect trilogy.
She saw the trailer with Mass Effect 4.
I don't remember it. I remember seeing
that's not fair. I thought you saw the trailer.
I remember seeing the 7 in the snow, and that's it.
To be fair, the game is freaking ancient, so I mean, if you don't know what happens
I did not for the chat.
Hold on, because I got some flack on Twitter when I said that that Sephiroth killed Aerith back in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, man, I remember that.
Hold on a minute.
Come on, man. That's like a 20.
I'm waiting for the remake part 2. I didn't know.
People did come after you, but I was like, that was
man.
freaking stupid as hell.
No, I will say EA though is doing a lot right now, positioning a lot of potential good game decisions. But again, completely have time to ruin all this. But as of right now, they're making the right choices, bringing back the right games, hopefully setting straight the teams working on them. BioWare definitely needs the leash pulled in a little bit to get some things going here for their future. Yeah. But at least with the update we've seen, like the very small, not really update of Skate 4. Things are looking good there, so I know I'm EA's trying to win me back, and they're doing a good job recently. This week alone, I'm like, okay, you show me 2 things I really want.
If Mass Effect hits, I'll say they're back. Like if it's a home, I'm like, yo, EA's they're back.
If Mass Effect comes out and it's not even just as good as the original 3, but just better than Andromeda, I forgive them. I forgive them for all good,
and then we get good Dead Space, and then Mass Effect. I mean, then Skate. That's
Need for Speed Carbon. Yep, got it.
Sure, why not? Throw it on the list.
People seem confused in the chat. That's for the original Final Fantasy VII. That's not the Final Fantasy VII remake. That's the 7 that came out in the 90s.
You did it again. You did it again.
Surely they know that, right?
EA now needs to come out with NBA Street.
Oh,
like in the style of 2.
NBA Street would be great. That game was revolutionary back in the day, at least for if you played basketball.
Like NBA Street 2 on the PlayStation 2 or even the GameCube or Xbox, it was so good.
I mean, we're still gonna get a Fallen Order sequel, which will be pretty cool. I would hope.
Yep.
Maybe I would love to see an actual Titanfall 3. I just finished the campaign for Titanfall 2. Excellent.
They got Apex.
That was an excellent campaign.
Apex makes too much money. It's just easier to just do Apex.
I like how it's funny knowing about Apex and then playing the campaign, because there's a moment where like a card gets thrown and it says like the company's name is Apex, and it's like, oh, so that we're advertising Apex in this game before it came out. So I think that's funny, but I would like a Titanfall 3, especially how it leaves off. I thought that game was way better than even people made it.
What happened at the end of Titanfall 2?
I'm not gonna. So what happens?
That game is like 6 hours long. Everyone should just play it.
Stop acting like I didn't spoil anything. It was a freaking trailer, okay? I don't care what anybody says. It was a damn trailer that they showed off, okay? It wasn't me.
Whoa! I just read a very disturbing comment. Matthew Bryant, I've never heard of NBA Street.
Whoa, EA big though?
Not even NBA Street 2.
If you're young, then you probably haven't heard of it because it's not like as relevant.
That's the best intro too, where they're like EA big.
EA big.
That was awesome.
Got NBA Street 3 on the GameCube that featured Mario characters.
Mario.
V3's a bit not so good, but V2 is awesome. V1 and V2
is great.
I remember when V1 came out, it was like mind blowing because the game ran well, it looked good. I was like, all right, this is it right here.
You can use classic, you can use like the old school, like you can use old school characters, you can use the new ballers, and it was because like when you go on the basketball court, you would do all the stupid tricks. You would
you'd like fall on the ground, like dribbling, doing all this weird looking stuff.
I know how to play basketball. I can dribble, but I would try to do like this stuff and all that, and it was just like. It was just really cool. So I hope they bring that back. That'd be so dope if they did.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that the NBA didn't want that type of game. Though that's what I heard.
I could kind of see that.
That's what I heard. Just like NFL doesn't want NFL Street. They don't want those games, those type of games because of the image.
They're allergic to fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Allergic to fun.
You can have your serious, like, all right, this is Madden, like this is real football. And then you can have, here's football, but like here's like a random crazy move.
I thought that's what 2K's doing now. Aren't they doing the arcade football?
They're doing something, but I doubt it'll be like I'm gonna knock you.
Yeah, you're not gonna break dance on the.
I mean, we had Blitz the League.
Yeah, and they hated that. And they also had the show The Playmakers. You guys remember that? There was a show called The Playmakers. NFL got that show canceled. It was a really good... They got that show canceled because it showed all the underside of
but Blitz the League was great. Dude breaks his legs.
NFL
like, all right, bring over the syringe.
The NFL was probably like, what the...
Well, you could have played Mutant Football League.
Get the axe. Cut that game off, man.
I like
Football League is the closest you're going to get to a
ton of fun. They had the dude who had the special move, and it was legitimately just him doing a double drop kick across the field.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
It's great though.
He'd kick you in the chest, and somehow your ankle broke.
Hey, that's how powerful that.
It does the X-ray
so
thing.
hard upper body that your legs just snap at the ankle.
That's the
Blitz
worst.
League, you'd have no players left on Blitz League. You'd have